Shout 94.7 FM.
We're live.
WAAW.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Health Matters this morning. You know, guys, we are talking about autism, and this is Autism Awareness Month. And it's also the month of the military child, where they celebrate children, mainly military, but month of the military child. So we're highlighting moms, parents with autism children. So we're going to be having on the second half, we're going to be having Michele Ingram. She's from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and she's going to be talking about her two young girls. Not only she have one, she have two autism, and she has an awesome story. So stay tuned and locked in right here on Health Matters on WAAW Shout 94.7, the voice of the gospel truth. Good morning, everyone. This is Jackie.
And Coach Patrick.
And you're listening to WAAW Shout 94.7 FM, the voice of the gospel truth.
This is the day the Lord has made.
Hey, we're going to choose to rejoice and be glad in it.
That's right. Each and every day.
Every day, all day long.
I love the Lord.
With all my heart.
Without him, I have no strength.
No strength in
None.
him. None. In him I live and move and have I been. And guys, you know what? It is so awesome to just be able to get up and just cover yourself with the word of God.
Yes, it is.
You know, and that's it. That's the sword of the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
The word of God.
Doing that armor every day.
Putting on
daily.
the full armor, not just part of it, but the full armor of God. Daily.
Got to do it.
Got to do it daily. Every day. If you haven't, start doing it. Yeah, because that's how we fight spiritual warfare.
Right. All right, guys. So we got an awesome show on this morning. We're going to cap off our topic of autism on this morning, but we have a great interview that's going to come on the second half of the show with Michele Ingram. So you don't want to miss that interview. So make sure you stay tuned for the second half of the broadcast. Want to go ahead and acknowledge our sponsors, our partners, and our friends. Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan, your spine is the line, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawrence Street Northwest, right here in Aiken, South Carolina. Their number is 803-641-9191. Their website is aikenchiropractic.com, www.aikenchiropractic.com. And nobody turned down Mr. Keith Richardson. Get a free Medicare checkup and make sure you're in the right Medicare plan. You can give Keith a call at 803-281-6600. That's 6600. His website is www.nobodyturneddown.com. And Centerwell Senior Primary Care, helping seniors live healthier and happy lives. They're located at 3435 Riceboro Road in Augusta, Georgia. Their number is 706-841-9719. Their website is www.centerwell.com. And Graham's Vehicle Detailing, affordable mobile detailing with professional results every time. Their number is 706-860-4982. Their website, www.grahamsgvd.com. If you would like to be a sponsor, partner, or friend of the broadcast, you can call 706-592-8862. There are other opportunities to also broadcast throughout the week on the radio station. There's many packages that you can invest in for your company. You can call the business office for those packages at 803-649-6405.
Yes, it's time to take your business to the next level.
That's right.
You know,
Make the investment.
Invest in it, and if you want to take it to that next level,
the station has a large footprint to get your brand out there. We cover over 16 counties, 75-mile radius footprint. So when we're broadcasting, a lot of people are here.
Yes.
In Georgia and South Carolina in the CSRA.
Yes, all right.
All right, happy birthday to everybody that's celebrating a birthday in the month of April.
All right.
Maria Phelps.
Okay, she had a birthday.
She had a birthday this month.
Okay. My brother, Dale Howard.
Happy
he
birthday.
Celebrated birthday. My great niece, Mackenzie. She celebrated a birthday.
Awesome.
I think yesterday. She celebrated a birthday
Your side of
yesterday.
the family got birthdays
And then my
every
sister,
month of the year.
my sister Susie, we call her Susie Q.
Sue.
She has a birthday around, I think the 28th, the 28th of this month.
Happy
So
birthday.
yes.
Happy
So we
birthday.
have,
Awesome.
I think we probably have the whole year now
Covered.
covered with grandbabies,
So,
children, you know, and my daughter and I and my daughter-in-law, we're coming up on milestones.
right.
40s, and I'll be 60 this year. I'm proud of it.
years.
Yes.
100 years of life
That's
total
what my
together
grandson
anyway.
said. He said, that's 100. He said 60 plus 40 is 100.
Yeah.
I said, yes.
So
Yes.
happy birthday to everybody celebrating a birthday this month in April, and happy anniversary to those that tied and not jumped the room. However you did it. Listen, keep loving each other, keep building, keep becoming one. All right, Jackie.
Yes. Okay, guys, that is our Help Matters Happening tune, and that's when we bring you relevant information that pertain to your health and well-being.
All right, so this morning's Help Matters Happening is the FDA announced a voluntary recall of select lots of Xanax. The impacted lots may dissolve too quickly or not fast enough in the body, so patients who have concerns should contact their doctor. I'll say that again. Patients who are on Xanax and have concerns, you should contact your doctor or visit the FDA.gov website to get a lot more information about it. But the Food and Drug Administration has announced a voluntary recall of select lots of Xanax. That incredibly popular anti-anxiety medication was originally recalled by its distributors Viatris in mid-March, but was recalled nationwide on Wednesday for failed dissolution specifications per the FDA. This is classified as Class 2, which is the FDA's second most severe recall category. Products that fall into this classification may cause temporary or medically reversible adverse health consequences, or where the probability of serious adverse health consequences is remote, per the FDA. So just want to encourage you, if you are on that medication or use that medication, get in touch with your doctor to find out what's going on with that, or you can go to the FDA.gov website to get more information. This has been your Health Matters Happenings.
All right, guys, make sure if you're taking Xanax, be proactive about that. If you haven't heard it, you're hearing it here on Help Matters on WAAW. Get that checked. It has been a nationwide recall on Xanax.
Yeah.
All right. And guys, we do have our wellness tips this morning. Our Help Matters wellness tip. We're going to be talking about hydration. Guys, we know summer is approaching. And in Georgia, we can just jump to some summer temperatures. We can jump right into it because it was like
every season in one day.
Right. We've been in the 90s. And it hasn't been as humid now, but it's been very dry. We haven't had any rain, and so it's been kind of hot out there. So we just want to talk about hydration. Don't wait until you get thirsty to have water. That means you're already dehydrated. So make sure you're drinking your water prior to, before getting dehydrated. Always stay constantly hydrated, before walking, before you work out, because your intensity level, you perspire more, you lose more water quicker than you normally. So make sure you're staying hydrated. Eating foods that has water in it, like your vegetables and your fruits, strawberry, melons. Make sure that water is very good for you. We need it, but it doesn't replace electrolytes. So add some lemons in there. Coconut water is a good source. You can do both. I do both to help replace those electrolyte. Try to avoid sports drink because they're full of sugar. I know they say zero sugar, but trust me, there are still hidden ingredients in there. So make sure, just enhance your water with some just drinking some coconut water and with some lemons. That will help replace those electrolytes. And you have signs of, a lot of people don't recognize it. You have signs of dehydration, dizziness, fatigue, headaches, dark color urine, swollen feet. So make sure, guys, you're carrying your water bottle. Keep it accessible. Make sure you're drinking some cool water that help bring down your temperature. Watch your workout, intensity of your workout in the summertime. You may want to, consider what times you're working out, whether evenings or afternoons, so you know what's best for you. But make sure you are hydrated prior to working out, especially if you're working out at a good intensity workout. So, and remind yourself, set reminders to make sure you're drinking your water, because sometimes we can go throughout the day and just not drinking enough water. We think we're getting enough water, but we're really not getting enough water. So make sure, guys, you're drinking your water. Stay hydrated, guys, this summer. All right, that's been your Health Matters Wellness tip for this Saturday.
Those are good points, Jackie, especially like you say, you got to drink that water prior to, because once you start having them cramps and, those muscles start to tighten up, it's too late to try to get the water in then.
Yes.
And the biggest mistake you can make is trying to just gulp some water down. That word,
you said gulp. Do that even mean anything?
They know what it means.
Gulp. Somebody out there tell me, do that mean anything?
You're taking too much water. You're taking too much water down. But you got to sip.
Well, you can't. You do. You can get over hydrated, and if your urine is white.
Yeah, but the point I'm making though is when you start feeling the effects of it, muscles tightening up and pain and all of that.
Right.
You're gonna have to navigate through it then.
Absolutely.
So that's why you want to drink water throughout the day.
Yes.
That's a good point to make. Thank you so very much. All right.
Okay, Coach. You want to talk about your
we got Ministry of Wellness coming up. This will be the second annual time that we do this event. Is going to be held at the Kroc Center. That's 1833 Broad Street in Augusta, Georgia. It's going to be on a Saturday on June 6th. It's going to be from 10 a.m. To 12 p.m. So I'm looking forward to all the men coming out. We had a great time last year. We're going to have some refreshments for you, so that you can, between breakfast and lunch, we're gonna get you in there after breakfast and get you out of there before lunch, but we're still gonna give you some refreshments. But we're gonna be talking about, there's just hearing men's testimonies. It's gonna be from a man's perspective on health and wellness, because men don't talk about it. And I want to get men in a group in a safe space where we can just talk about it. Talk about our health, talk about our triumphs, talk about our challenges, talk about how we've come out. So somebody that's sitting in that room needs to hear it. So say that date, June 6th, is going to be at the Kroc Center from 10 to 12 p.m. Ministry of Wellness. Our theme is Living Well, a Man's Perspective.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
That sounds like it's going to be good. And, so we'll be there to serve and help and go our way once y'all
get
settled, once y'all get started. But
men they already struggle with talking, so they don't like women to be around.
I agree.
We have those conversations.
Right,
so,
I agree.
But
and women, we are the same as well.
Y'all can pretty much just go. Y'all can talk. It don't matter who in the room.
Well, God created us this way, so we're created. We're different creatures.
Yes.
What they say, men's from Venus, women.
I don't know.
Oh no. But anyway, we're all God. We're God children. So
That's
yes. So He created us this way.
Made.
Yeah, we have to know how to be mindful when we're talking.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So as Jackie said, we've been talking about autism.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be with you briefly this morning, because we have a pre-recorded interview that's gonna be coming on right at about 8:27, and we want you to stay tuned for that. But we're gonna cover some things here briefly with you before we go to the interview, and we're gonna talk about the autism myth of autism only affects boys. That's been a myth with autism for a while.
I didn't know that.
That was a myth. But I mean, that was a thing, because girls weren't being. It's not that it didn't affect girls. It's just that they weren't being diagnosed properly for it. So we're gonna walk through that a little bit. Got some information from a Dr. Claire Lazaro from Valley Mountain Regional Center in Stockton, California. Autism, these are some things that she stated. Autism can affect anyone, and we know that it can. That's a true statement, regardless of gender, regardless of age, race, or your socioeconomic status. Autism doesn't what you call it, it doesn't
Discriminate.
discriminate. It is true that there is a disproportionate number of boys diagnosed, and that's the key word here, diagnosed with autism compared to girls. Now, boys are 4 times more likely than girls to be diagnosed with the autism spectrum disorder. And Dr. Lazaro said the way boys and girls experience autism is different. Dr. Christine Nordall presented a study at the 2018 International Society for Autism, based on girls with autism often experience greater challenges and impairments than boys. And it shows that girls with autism have a higher risk of anxiety, ADHD, and oppositional defiant disorder compared to boys. Many girls with autism face challenges with activities of daily living, such as brushing their teeth and getting dressed. Now, another study, research study from Dr. Nordall, studied brain scans of children, Jackie, with autism, which showed that the difference in the autism spectrum disorder between boys and girls may be attributed to the area of the brain affected. Autism in boys seems to more often affect the part of the brain that regulates emotions and decision making. And that's why boys more often exhibit acting out behaviors. So, that's why it's so critical that, we bring awareness to autism,
Right.
because autism, it says autism spectrum disorder, there's a range and there's a different,
Spectrum.
spectrum for everybody, that falls on in that spectrum. And just being aware, that we're all different, and how things affect boys and how things affect girls and how they deal with it, is different. And that's why this myth came about, because of the diagnosis, because of how girls respond to autism versus how boys respond to autism. And these doctors kind of dig into that a little deeper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, and just, not to get off the subject here, I just want to kind of give a testimony. I did talk to Miss Lucretia Reeves, and she sent us some videos. Like I said, we've been following and tracking Jeremiah and Josiah's stories since they was in elementary school, since they're around about 7. Now they're in high school, and she sent videos of them, and she was singing, and, sent the video of Josiah singing, God made me, he made me who I am. He went from nonverbal to verbal.
Praise God.
And I just want to give that praise report about him and Josiah. They are doing great. They are doing so good. And and she have a organization called They Make Me Better, and you can follow her on Facebook. They Make Me Better, and she does a whole lot with them. Just being that proactive mom, and the help of her community and family. And friends, and because moms and parents, they need help too.
Most definitely.
They need to be seen as well. So, and that's why we did the interview with this young lady in North Carolina, because her story inspired us, and we wanted.
And she had 2 girls.
And
Lucretia had 2 boys.
And 2 boys.
Ain't that something?
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
So we wanted to highlight, because so many people, it's a stigma in the community, and so many people can look at that as behavior and
try to
label them. And so, like Josiah said, God made me who I am.
Right.
He is made who he is, and so, and God have given those parents the grace to do what they need to do.
And it's good to see how they adjusted so well to society.
Yes.
But they were able to do that because of her consistent press. She pressed in that area and made sure she got them boys the help that they need.
Yes.
She made sure that she surrounded them in an environment that accepted them.
Exactly.
So that way they were able to make that adjustment into an environment. And that's why Autism Awareness Month is so important, that we all in the public understand, the battle, the challenges that these families have. As they navigate through this autism spectrum disorder, and whatever we can do out in the community to help them be better. Let's do that.
Yeah. And not label them, look at them as,
right, bad kids. I'll do this if that was my kid. No, you don't know what you would do, because you don't know what that person is going to do.
And God chose that parent, so he chose them, so he gave them the assignment and the grace to be able to do it.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
And okay, so I said that autism in boys seem to be more affected part of their brain and regulates their emotion and their decision making. In girls, autism more often affects the area of the brain that regulates planning and executing tasks. It's believed that girls employ a strategy of masking or camouflaging in which girls learn to minimize the visibility of their behavior or cognitive differences, often by mimicking the behaviors of others in their social group. This could be one of the reasons girls are underdiagnosed.
Wow.
So that's all that. Just think about that, because she's saying that girls, because they kind of mimic their environment, you know, they kind of hide or mask what they're going through. You know, and I just think about, you know, women a lot, how, you know, even adult, how you guys are built, and how you'll mask some things. You know, men do it too, but I can see that, you know, in young girls, how they mask their feelings and they try to fit in, you know, to an environment so they can be misdiagnosed, even though they're struggling, you know, with autism spectrum disorder.
I think that's
You
something
know,
I never knew that.
so so that made me think about that, because, you know, although men struggle, women just struggle differently.
Yes.
The struggle is different.
And that's why next month going to be so good. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and also Women's Health Month, and we're going to be digging into that, and so that's going to be good. So I just want to kind of highlight that. So that's something we can, you know, would be a great subject, you know, to talk about, because women, we do take on many roles in the family, you know. So men do too, but women, we can take on a whole lot of roles in family and in other things. So yeah. But yeah, that's I never heard of that. I just never heard of that.
Now, I did read something else where this other doctor was talking about that, and that was the first time that I had heard it, that at one time they was like boys was the only ones, you know, affected with autism, but it's not that they were the only one affected. It's just they were the only ones being diagnosed because of how they responded to the disorder versus the way girls responded to the disorder. And that just shows you how we're built, you know. Even as we grow into adults, women and men, we talked about it earlier at the beginning of the show, we're just built differently.
Yeah,
you know, we're built differently. God has given us a purpose, you know, in who we are and who he created us to be, male and female.
Right.
Created them, you know. So we have a role and we have a purpose, and we operate in that purpose. And but there are some struggles, there are some things that we go through, and we just handle them differently.
Yes.
You know, although God gives us
and
the grace
our
to do what we need to do.
experiences as well, Coach, as we grow up in different environments, our culture and where we in environment, we have different experiences. Everybody have different experiences and where they grow up at.
Definitely.
You know, so, and that in itself can kind of shape our thinking, our personality, you know. So we have to, sometimes we got to, you know, we take some things and we learn, and some things we have to retrain our mind, you know, because we don't see these things until, you know, we begin to get older and recognize behaviors now, where this come from. So those are things that, but it's good to have parents that recognize these signs. They don't ignore it. Even some parents can label it as a behavior and, you know,
handle it wrong.
Yes, but just knowing the symptoms, knowing the you know, if knowing your child and knowing something is not normal, you know, just being attentive to your children and
that's the key.
Yeah,
being attentive. Yeah.
And knowing your children and saying something is off, something is just not right, and you'll get all that in that interview with Michele Ingram.
Awesome interview. You want to make sure, if you didn't hear, we're going to have an interview with Michele Ingram coming up right at about 8:27. It's a pre-recorded interview. We want you to stay tuned for that interview because it's an awesome interview. Yes. She talks about her journey, a mother's journey, dealing with children with autism. But it's a great interview, so we want you to stay tuned for that. Autism in boys is often present as a regression. They get to a certain phase of development, then they regress, losing language and other skills they had previously acquired. But in girls, autism is more often detected when they fail to meet developmental milestones. So, and that's why we have to pay attention to our children.
Yes.
And one thing to keep in mind is that some things are not just slow development. Some things may be something else, but we don't have to classify it as that until we get a diagnosis that it is something else besides just slow development. All right. So what we're going to do is 8:25, Jackie. We're going to acknowledge our sponsors, our partners, and friends, and go to a soft break right here. And the next, when we come back after that break, you'll be hearing our interview with Miss Michele Ingram. All right, so we're going to acknowledge our sponsors, our partners, and friend, Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan. When your spine is aligned, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawrence Street Northwest here in Aiken, South Carolina. Their number is 803-641-9191. Website is www.aikenchiropractic.com. Nobody turned down Keith Richardson. Get a free Medicare checkup and make sure you're in the right Medicare plan. 803-281-6600. His website is www.nobodyturneddown.com. And Centerwell Senior Primary Care, helping seniors live healthier and happier lives. They're located at 3435 Wrightsboro Road, Augusta, Georgia, 706-841-9719 is their number. And their website is www.centerwell.com. And Graham's Vehicle Detailing, affordable mobile detailing with professional results every time. Their number is 706-830-4982. Their website is www.grahamsvehicledetailing.com. If you would like to be a sponsor or a partner or a friend on the broadcast, call 706-592-8862. All right, guys. So listen, we are going to ease up out of here, but we want you guys to stay tuned for our interview that's coming up with Miss Michele Ingram.
On Shout 94.7 FM, the gospel voice of the gospel truth.
All right. So Facebook, YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't you guys go nowhere neither. We're going to switch over to the interview with Michele Ingram so you guys can get it too, okay? We're going to switch over to that at 8:30. That'll be coming on, okay? So make sure you tune back in. Don't go nowhere. We want y'all to stay there. And, well, you're going to have to go somewhere here, but you tune back into that interview, all right? But thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you guys. Terry, hello, Terry. And who else is on there? D-Mac. Hey, Deb.
So go ahead, guys. Check out the interview.
Yeah, it'll be
Download
coming
the
on.
app now. We have the app.
Yeah,
WAAW 947. Go to your Google Play or your Android, your iPhone, Apple Store, and download the app. All right, guys. See you later.
Have a good one. The interview's coming up, 8:30.
Hey, bye-bye.